Happy Monday.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
So excited. Christmas is almost here.
Yeah, it's Ken's favorite time of year for sure.
Yes.
I mean, it's honestly everybody's.
I know. I started it back in October.
It's too much. It's way too much.
It's never too
much.
much.
But it's finally like the appropriate time to be excited. Christmas is next week. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Weekish.
Yeah, weekish. It's pretty incredible.
Yep, it'll be.
Well, we obviously have the new year also happening, and we're here at the tail end of 2023, which is hard to believe. I cannot believe we're at the end. Like, how the heck did that happen?
It happened so fast.
Where did this year go? And so today I thought it would be helpful to kind of talk about how to do like an annual review process and some tips and things to prompt your thinking so that you can get ready for the new year.
I love it. Let's jump right in.
All right. All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Focus on This, the most productive podcast on the internet, so you can banish distractions, get the right stuff done, and finally start loving Mondays. I'm Marissa, here with Ken.
Hey.
All right. So we're here to talk about annual reviews, which I feel like a lot of people have different processes for. And our kind of process for this has actually been somewhat buried inside of your best year ever. And something that we haven't really I think stripped out of that. Yeah. And talked about. And I think it's such a helpful process. I love doing this time of year. And
we're doing it today. We're taking it out of its little box.
Yes. So we have 3 steps for you to do an annual review, and we're going to keep this pretty simple. But I think it's really effective. So the first step is to complete the past. Shocker.
Wait, you mean to do a review? We're going to review the past?
We're going to review.
Yes.
But we're actually going to complete the past because
Okay.
I think this is really easy for people to feel like we get to this time of year and all they want to do is go and think about the year coming. 2024, it's only a few weeks away at this point, and we're all thinking about it and we're excited. And it's really easy to not go, wait a minute, I got to look back and think about all that I accomplished and if there were any challenging things going on, and just put the past to bed so that I can go into the new year. So we actually have 7 questions to ask yourself about the previous year. And so I want to walk through those. And I encourage you, when you are not, if you're driving, don't
crash.
Don't crash and don't write these down. But if you're not driving, you might want to take out a little notes thing. Maybe, Nick, we can throw these up in the show notes for people so that they can just grab them off of the site. All right. So 7 questions to ask yourself about really 2023.
Let's do it.
All right. So if 2023 was turned into a movie about your life, what genre would it be?
Ooh.
I love that. We should have done this where we were answering these live.
We should. That would have been awesome. We still can. At the end of the segment, we may. All right. Next question. What were the 2 or 3 major themes that kept reoccurring?
Yes. Number 3, what did you accomplish this past year that makes you most proud?
That's a good one. All right. Number 4, what do you feel you should have been acknowledged for but weren't?
I think this is my favorite question.
That's a hard question for me to answer.
But isn't it so true that you go through the year and you feel like you've done stuff and nobody saw it or nobody was like, hey,
Yeah.
good job, Ken.
I
You
know.
crushed that.
No, I get it.
And this is a time for you to pat yourself on the back a little bit.
That's hard for, I'll tell you what, that's hard for some people to do.
I think it's
sometimes
really
it's hard
hard
for me to pat myself on the back. Like, oh yeah, I tend to just stay under the radar about certain things.
Oh, for sure. But we got to give ourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah.
This is the time to do it. Number 5, what disappointments or regrets did you experience?
None. It was perfect. It was a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. Oh, if only. That would be nice. If only. All right. Number 6, what was missing from last year as you look back? This is a good question as we actually think ahead.
Expound on that question a little bit. What do you mean? What was missing from last year? What were you hoping to get or have?
Yeah, or do you feel like when you look back on this past year, the thing that was missing for you was community or
got it.
More discipline or more excitement? I mean, you name it. And I think what I like about this question is it kind of helps start priming the pump for you to start thinking about what you want for the new year ahead. Because what was missing, you might want to include in the coming year.
Yeah, that's great. All right. The last question is, what were the major life lessons you learned this past year?
Yeah. It's definitely a good one.
That is a fantastic one.
That's a really good
I
one.
love that question. Okay, so there's 7 questions for you to complete the past.
Yes.
And I love how you said it at the beginning, where it's like, if you don't complete the past, you're not really sure where you're going.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can you actually say, were you successful? Were you not successful? Or actually just like, are you going to have to end up repeating certain lessons because
I think
you didn't stop?
this is a really big key here, because it's kind of like in relationships, like you got to process the breakup before you go into the next relationship. Otherwise, you're probably going to be met with the same issues or kind of person or whatever. And you've got to learn the lessons. You've got to like digest and distill those lessons before you can turn to the new year and start dreaming again.
Sweet. So the first step to do an annual review is to complete the past. The second step is anticipate the future.
Yes.
Anticipate the future.
Yeah.
So we love this. This is what our whole company is based upon.
Yeah.
And the best way to do this is to set your smarter goals.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about this already, but let's just quickly review smarter goals. What are they?
Yep.
Right. The S is specific. M is measurable. A is actionable. R is risky. Now, if you want to know more about this, go listen to the previous episode. R is risky. T is time bound. E is exciting. And R is relevant.
Ooh, way to go. Look at you. Like a pro. That's awesome.
Took me 30 seconds. No.
Yeah. And, I think here too is, again, you've got to complete the past before you can look to the future and start dreaming and getting excited and all of that. Like, you've got to put that to bed so you can look ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
That rhymed. That's exciting.
Get her a rap album.
Yeah. So if you do want to know more about how to set smarter goals, we did an episode last week that hopefully you listened to, but if not, go ahead and download it now. But we did kind of a beginner's guide to goal setting, and it's super helpful. We walk you through this process. So definitely check that out. All right. So step 3 is review your success. So this is also really an easy thing for people to kind of, especially high achievers, I think, is breeze past. They don't feel like they need to actually go pat themselves on the back for all the things they did do that were awesome, or the wins that they had this past year. We have 6 tips to help you put these strategies together in an annual review. So number 1, identify your biggest wins from the year. Number 2, conduct an after-action review. And for those of you that may not know what an after-action review is, this is essentially the same process that's built into your weekly and quarterly previews in the Full Focus Planner. So it's asking you to, essentially look at things, determine what you want to continue doing or change, and then look to the future.
Number 3 is conduct a goal review. So look at all the goals that you have put in for the previous year and how did you do?
Yeah.
Right. And if you didn't do any goals, that should be quick.
Yeah. And nope, didn't achieve a thing.
You might have achieved it, but not the ones you thought about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then number 4, conduct a calendar review.
Yeah.
Just look at everything that happened in your calendar. Was it overwhelming? Was it not overwhelming? Would you wanted to add something? Would you want to take something out? Like, think about those things.
I bet there's a ton there that you've forgotten that happened as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, sometimes if you ask me what happened last month, I'd be like, I don't know. That's why I put everything on my calendar so I could be like, oh, I did this, or I did this task, or I did that.
Yeah.
Like, my calendar saves me a lot.
Oh,
and
for sure.
It'll help you too. Just FYI, for those, this might be a little pro tip. If you don't ever remember what your big win is, and if you're not journaling or putting it in your planner, like, at least put it in your calendar. Like that day, like, big win, boom. So then you can search it when you're doing it on Google or something like that, like big win. And it shows all the wins that you did for that year.
That's good. I like that. All right. So tip 5 is to review your daily rituals. And so this is important because the rituals that you had at the beginning of 2023, or whatever year you're listening to this in, you might not have the same life that you had at the beginning of the year. And so you need to review those rituals and make sure they're still working for you and adjust where needed. Maybe like you had a baby in the, the past year. And so your life looks really different now. And I bet I'd be willing to bet your morning ritual probably looks really different now than it did in January.
100%.
Yeah. And then lastly is to review your ideal week. Yes. And that's for the same purpose. It's obviously like life happens, things change. Maybe you're in a different role than you were in January. You've been promoted, or you switched jobs. Regardless, your job has probably changed a lot since January. Your family life might look really different. Your goals obviously are shifting. And so you might need to shift around that ideal week to make it match what you're looking to accomplish.
Yeah. Now, you may be listening to this and be thinking, wow, that was one, the questions were really profound. But number two, you might be like, those are 3 really simple steps.
Yeah.
And you're right, they are. And it was meant to be simple, because if it's complex, you're not going to do it.
Totally.
Right. But we really want you to take some time and just go through the process. Right. Marissa, if someone's going through this process, how long do you think it would take them to do an annual review?
Well, you could, I think, do this in probably as little as, I don't know, a couple hours, if you really want to press it. For me, I typically choose to block off about a day where I really walk through this process. And I kind of set aside that dedicated time to really reflect. For those of you that have kids and, people kind of pulling at your attention, it might be helpful if you send the kids to the grandparents for the day, or try to take a day out, go on a little mini retreat, so to speak. For me, I don't have kids. And so I just set aside a day of the week and really go through this process. And so that way I don't feel like I have a time limit and I'm trying to rush through stuff. But I think you can do it in as little as a couple hours.
Yeah.
We actually go through this as a team through our best year ever process. And all of this is baked into that day. So we've got on January 9th or January 5th coming up, we've got your best year ever live. And we walk you through this plus a lot more during that entire day. It's a 1-day live event, virtual, and you will leave that event having done all of these steps, having all of your goals for the new year. And it's really amazing. We take you through several more steps in that process, like dealing with some of your limiting beliefs, turning them into liberating truths. But it's such a great annual ritual to have, to do this time of reflection, asking yourself these big questions, and then looking ahead at the new year going, what do I really want? And setting those intentions and those goals.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that I'm really excited for people to join us at your best year ever, because that's one of the things I was going to mention here is that, as you're going through this, some of the things that might happen, especially if you're like an Enneagram 1, right? You feel like, man, you don't look at the successes. You look at all the failures. You're like, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. But those are limiting beliefs that you got to work through. Yeah. And you need to see the liberating truths. So making sure that you stop and recognize, you're not perfect. You need grace for yourself, but let's keep achieving. Let's keep moving forward. Is going to be extremely beneficial. Yeah. So if you're ever questioning, should I go do your best year ever, or should I even stop and do an annual review? You are holding yourself back by not doing this.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the best things too is, even when you're thinking about those failures and those shortcomings that you had in the last year, there's lessons buried in each one of those.
For sure.
And if you're not, if you're just quick to move on to the next thing, you're not going to be able to take advantage of all those lessons that came this year. And this process enables you to actually look at those, digest them, like I was saying, and experience them, so that going forward into the new year, you're not feeling like, you're having to make those same failures again, or struggle with the same issues that you did this past year. You can kind of learn it and then move on.
Yep. And then just be thankful that you have another shot to try it again.
How do you do an annual review? Do you take some time, or how does that look?
I've broken it up. So because of my family and all that, there are times when I haven't been able to do one, and I do a mental checklist, right? Yeah. But then other times I just break it up. Hey, one day I'll do this section. I'll do this. It might take me a couple weeks to just process stuff. Yeah. So I'm an internal processor quite a bit. So that's where people will be as extroverted as I can be, and I am. Most people don't realize how much of an internal processor I am. So I've been processing this stuff for months already. That's
really good. Yeah. Well, and I think that if you're a full focus planner user, the easiest thing that you can do is just flip back to your weekly previews, because this is kind of a lot of this framework is built in already each week. And so you're doing mini versions of these every single week, which is awesome.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is it's worth taking some time to think about this past year and really to process through everything that you went through. And in order to move to the new year, I just want to encourage you, before you just get excited and start thinking of all the things, really take a moment to look back before you look ahead.
That's a good one. I'm going to leave it at that. I like it.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've talked about our, ready for 2024. We've reviewed our year, and I thought it would be kind of fun. We started doing this in the last year here on the podcast to share with you some habits of famous people, perhaps famous successful people, and to get your reaction to the habit, and perhaps if you think it's effective, if you would recommend it for other people, if you'd recommend it to yourself, and see how it goes. We really need a name for this segment. I don't know. Historical habits.
Creeping on habits.
I don't know. I don't know. So this is all from an article from Inc.com titled 17 Bizarre Productivity Hacks from the World's Greatest
Oh, we're doing like
Achievers.
bizarre. Okay.
Okay, bizarre.
This is going to get weird.
So, well, some
We'll
of
see.
them.
That's
That's
why I
the thing.
said creeping.
I think this title,
I just-
it's a clickbait. They're trying to get your attention. Let's see. So Beethoven, ever heard of him?
Nope.
No.
The dog Beethoven. You know,
Oh, yes. I have a stuffy of Beethoven on my bed right now.
Oh my gosh.
Beethoven started each day with a cup of coffee, and what coffee? He insisted on 60 beans per cup. Some of us try to be good by limiting our intake to under 2 cups a day. Beethoven seemed to know the exact amount of his coffee. How do you
Was
feel
he
like
OCD?
that fits?
I mean, he was a prodigy, of course.
Interesting.
I seriously wonder if he was.
I mean, if you're counting
I'm
your
a Google
beans,
away.
Wait for it.
Okay, you have no idea. I just came across a huge article titled Ludwig van Beethoven, A Psychiatric Perspective
Whoa.
from National Institute of Health. Anyway, they don't see any evidence of OCD or anxiety from Beethoven.
I'm sorry. If you're
But he was a
counting
genius.
60
Yeah.
coffee beans a day, you have severe anxiety and likely OCD.
you're probably
Okay, I don't need any more information than that.
Yeah. Would I do this habit? No, because I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink
Oh
coffee?
my gosh, how have we gotten this far and I didn't know this?
Okay,
didn't know
wait a
that?
minute. Time.
I mean, I've never seen you drink a cup now that I think about it, but I've never
Okay.
thought about it.
Marissa, I think you should just
Oh,
keep facing Ken and just
Oh.
slowly back out of the room.
yeah.
between
Like, I
this-
think I've had 6 cups today.
I know you've never seen me drink coffee or any
Between
energy
this
drink.
What?
and the
I don't do
Christmas
any energy
before-
drinks.
Christmas before Halloween.
It's
And
honestly the real Christmas miracle is that we're still friends.
Hey,
Because I'm just
next
like,
week
wow.
I'll have a new host,
Yeah.
Okay,
a non-coffee drinker.
here's Benjamin Franklin for you. Benjamin Franklin took an air bath each morning.
An air bath.
Yeah,
What is that?
What do you think that is?
He
Before I
just
tell
like
you,
walked outside naked.
he sat naked in front of an open window for a full hour, summer and
Oh.
winter.
I mean, honestly, it sounds great, except for the hour part. That's like a long time.
Yeah, and
So
like
there was
the work part and the
Yeah, like
It's a
the
different
hour.
time back.
Like that's a
Benjamin
long.
Franklin was.
Yeah, like that's a long time. But like,
the concept.
never thought about it. I like, people are really into like cold plunges and these like biohacking things. Like maybe we need to bring back air.
Oh,
Air
okay,
bathing.
but all I'm really thinking about is how many people saw him air bathing.
Well,
He probably
actually, that is
like
what.
didn't. Did he? Was he like in a city or where did he live?
Well, the rest of this, we have no record of what his nosy neighbors might have thought of this, but it helped propel Franklin into the first rank of statesmen and scientists. Now, we didn't really pass judgment on the last one with the beans, but I would like to think through, as experts on the full focus system, as experts on goal achievement and productivity, I do want to get a sense of how you view each of these. Do you co-sign where are we at?
Yeah, I'm gonna co-sign this one. I
Wow.
am.
You're gonna co-sign that.
Assuming obviously that you're not doing it in front of people.
Assuming you're not putting other
Yeah.
people at risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
go
just
for
gonna
it.
pass.
Like whatever makes you
Boo.
feel great.
I have too many thoughts going through my mind. That I
Boo.
just.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'm here for it. Way to go, Benny.
Yeah, if you could do it in a
Way to
private
live freely.
location, like in
Yeah.
privacy, sure.
Yes.
I'd be down.
I don't know how to.
But I'm just gonna withhold all the jokes that go through my
The
mind.
Japanese have a practice called forest bathing. Have you heard of this? It's called, I can't remember the Japanese
I feel like you
word
make
for
up
it.
stuff sometimes.
No, it's like legit. This is legit. And people do this where they go into the forest and like just experience the forest and like totally disconnect, and they call it forest bathing. I can't remember the Japanese term. But that I'm kind of like, it's somewhat one and the same.
I mean, it sounds almost identical.
Air bathing. Y'all, come on. This is going to be a new Instagram phenomenon.
Did you airbathe today?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you earth today, or did you ground today?
Exactly. What?
Is that right?
What is it?
Shinrin-yoku?
Shinrin-yoku. Correcto.
I don't know how to pronounce this. It's a Greek. Demosthenes?
Sure. Just do it confidently.
Never heard of him.
Was an ancient Greek with a speech defect who wanted to become a public speaker.
Oh.
So he put pebbles in his mouth, then walked alone along the seashore for an hour each day, declaiming loudly. He eventually conquered his speech impediment and went on to become a famous orator.
Honestly, like, absolutely.
I'd do it.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty amazing.
That's a great. It's one of those quips that have been in public speaking books.
Right.
Like any public speaking book, you hear this story.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm very familiar with it. I've thought about doing it, and then I'm kind of like, or I could just practice.
Yeah.
Talking.
Well, way to go.
Well, now it sounds like you don't co-sign it.
I do. I just got more nervous about. Have you ever thought about putting pebbles in your mouth and accidentally biting into one? It just makes me nervous.
Never really thought
That's a
about
concept.
it. Nope. That's the next episode. I'll be doing it in pebbles.
It's. I'm sure we could sell some sort of like bag of pebbles for like holistic. Like, hey guys, you want to be productive? Buy this full focus
There's
pebbles.
opportunity in all of this.
This will also be mercury free and take out the mercury from your teeth if you.
Okay,
That's right.
Yeah, sign up. I'm signing up right now.
I'm going to cut
Let's
this
go.
because we gotta keep this for ourselves. Ernest Hemingway, ever heard of him? Wrote most of his novels standing up.
Yeah, he's ahead of his time.
That's a great idea.
Do you guys use standing desks?
I do.
I did. I have one, but I don't use it.
I know. Shame on you.
What's the
And you're
story?
giving me beef about
here's
coffee.
The deal. If
You're ruining your back.
in meetings like
Lack
on
of
Zoom,
ergodynamicness.
I would do a like day of Zoom meetings standing up. But if I'm like trying to do like deep thinking, like I'm happy that Ernest is able to figure this out. But for me, like I need to like sit and kind of like be comfortable. I don't know. I can't really do like
you've created a habit that you gotta like sit to do deep work.
Yeah.
I have a sit-stand desk.
True.
And it is
She's like, I don't care. I like it.
It's about compromise.
Yeah.
I'm sitting right now. I just couldn't do it anymore.
So you have one that like goes up and down.
You should do they're like the stools that have a little bit more of a lean back to it for standing people.
Oh.
It might help.
Standing people.
For people with standing desks.
Simon Cowell. Ever heard of him?
Ooh.
Likes to climb a tree as
yeah.
of an everyday ritual.
Does he really?
Wow.
Simon also enjoys watching cartoons every morning to put himself in a good mood.
Okay, well, that's a no for me, dog.
Oh,
and you got the
look at that. She did the thing that's not even his thing.
No, but it's like his thing. It's not.
I get it. No,
I get it. It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay,
but anyway,
the cartoons is a no.
Why not? Those are both great things. Great options. To put yourself in a good mood. You watch cartoons. Now, we got to ask what cartoon.
Climbing a tree? I am absolutely here for this and did not see this for Simon.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's
When
doing
was
it
this?
barefooted. Like, is he just like...
This article
What
is
tree?
from
Is he
Soul.
climbing the same tree? Does he look for a new tree every day? I have so many.
Is he a
Simon,
tree climber?
If you're listening to this, we have a lot of questions.
Yes. Please reach out to us.
Yes.
Okay, here, look.
And our full focus planner community.
Can you imagine? We see a request. Simon
Simon
Cowell
Cowell.
is requesting to join the full focus planner community.
During a recent press call, Cowell said, I climb trees daily. It's like a ritual. I like cartoons every morning. I like the Flintstones, the Jetsons, all the old ones. I watch them in the
I'm
morning
here for those.
to put me in a good mood.
Love it. Love the Jetsons. Love the Flintstones. Climbing trees. Wow. I really like him
I would
now.
probably go back to my old days as a kid because I have nostalgia for like... She's going to just watch her face right, when I say these. Because I was going to be like, oh, I'd be watching like Pokemon or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you?
That's amazing. She knew it was coming, but could not stop
She
it.
couldn't help it.
But I didn't know.
I just had I had it I saw it coming.
I was thinking you were going to be like Tom and Jerry. And I would have been like, yes.
Have you watched Tom and Jerry?
Oh, yeah.
Tom and Jerry was my jam.
I'm getting my son a Pikachu present for his birthday.
Oh, well, hopefully he doesn't listen to the show.
Nah. He's too young.
2. How old
You
is
don't
he?
know.
4.
He's turning 5.
5. Yeah. He also shares my birthday. So
Yes.
what's his name?
Alex.
Alex. Oh, sweet little Alex. Sorry that your dad's about to corrupt you
Well, and get fired from his job hosting
and
a
get
podcast.
fired. So I'm sorry. Sorry.
Is there any other
Warning.
personal information you want me to tell you about my son that people could take?
Oh, that's right. Let's get Soch.
So
What type?
So
All right. Well, thank you for playing this game. Sounds like, for the most part, you guys are pretty on board with.
yeah, I
all
think
of them.
I'll report back next week about how airbathing is going. Wow. Well, this was a pretty fun ending to the episode. And also, we hope you do have a fun ending to your year.
yes, it's going to be a fantastic one. Next week is Christmas. One of the best times of the year.
Yes, we're very excited about it. So we just want to say thanks for joining us on Focus on This.
This is the most productive podcast on the internet. So please share it with your friends and be sure to join the Full Focus Planner community on Facebook so you can benefit from the creativity and encouragement of people chasing big goals just like you.
And we will be here next week with another episode, and it will be on Christmas Day. So it'll be short. We just want to say hi, and we'll talk to you then. So until then,
Stay focused.
say it. Let's try that again.
I was looking right at you.
All right, let's try it again.
Okay.
Until then,
Stay
stay focused.
focused.